This is Support is Sexy, episode 179. Be gentle. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And I am sitting here with a bag of ice behind my knee. Yes, I am. It's that kind of evening. And while I was sitting here, you know what? I got inspired to do a show about it for the podcast. And here is the story. So if you've been listening to the podcast over the past few months, you know that I recently relocated from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, Brooklyn, down to Atlanta. Hey, Atlanta. And I am adjusting. Everything is fine. It's wonderful. It's going along swimmingly. But there are some adjustments, some lifestyle adjustments, just based on it's a different environment, different as far as transportation, different as far as a lot of things. For example, I used to run a lot when I was in New York, run outdoors, I should say. Down here, at least where I'm currently located in Georgia, there aren't sidewalks. So I run to a certain point. Can't run any further, or I shouldn't say I can't. I could, but I prefer not to run on the side of the road. So I recently joined a gym, which has been very new because I haven't been a member of a gym in years, just because once I started running outside, I fell in love with it years ago. So I started going to a gym, going 3 or 4 times a week. Running on the treadmill is a part of my routine for 30 minutes usually. Try to do at least 3 miles in 30 minutes. The last time I went to the gym, though, I did feel a little bit of pain in my knee, my left knee. And I've had pains in both knees, actually, because I used to play basketball when I was younger. And, you know, I'm not 25 anymore. I might look 25, but I'm not 25, right? So the knees sometimes give me a little bit of trouble. But usually after I keep going and the body sort of gets used to it, it'll usually pass. Or in the past, it has usually passed. Today, though, y'all, I went to the gym, got on the treadmill, thinking I'm going to do my usual routine, treadmill, weights, abs, stretching, etc. I started to run. I mean, it was probably the first step, or maybe the first or second step. Once I started running, I walked for the first couple seconds. Soon as I started running, shooting pains in my knee. I mean, shooting pains to the point where I had to stop running, start walking again, and get my mind right. And the reason I say get my mind right is because my first response to myself was anger at that knee, anger that I wasn't going to be able to run the way I wanted to, that I'm not as strong as I used to be. All of these crazy thoughts started rushing into my mind. I'm telling you, it was almost immediate. And I started to literally curse at my knee, like, damn it, why are you not cooperating today? But I had to shift. I had to catch myself, stop myself, and shift. And it made me think of sharing this with you all because this is what we have to do, especially in cases where we're talking about, thinking about, upset about something having to do with us, with ourselves. You know, we can stop ourselves from saying something nasty or vicious, etc. Most of us can to other people. But when it comes to ourselves, at least for me, and maybe for some of you, I am quick to go off when something I feel fails me, or I don't do something right, or something's in pain that I don't want to be in pain right now because it's an inconvenience or whatever it is. We always have to be very conscious and aware of how we're treating ourselves. So the 3 things that I thought about, and I actually posted this on my personal Instagram, the 3 areas that I am very conscious of, and this is from after a year or so of doing some personal development work, I decided to become much more aware of how I relate to myself in 3 ways: language, thoughts, and feelings. Very powerful things. Language, thoughts, and feelings. So whether it's some kind of personal injury or something going on with your business, something going on in your personal life, in your relationship with whomever, whatever is going on right now, when you reflect on yourself or you have a conversation really with what it is, your inner critic or your inner thoughts conversation with yourself, Be conscious of those three things. Language. So what do you say for yourself in those moments where you may feel like you failed or something about you has failed, such as in the case of my knee? Right away, vicious language was starting to come into my mind about failing, about not being able to do that thing. And honestly, at least at this point, worry too that, oh my God, is this an injury that's going to last for a longer time than I thought? Sometimes it's just a couple days. The pain today was pretty serious. So now I'm really being conscious of how I'm treating this knee, which is why I have ice on it. But what is the language? What are you saying to yourself when something goes wrong or you perceive that something has gone wrong? What is the language? What are you saying to yourself? How are you treating yourself in that moment? Are you being aware of the things you say? Because your words, especially the words you say to yourself, have power. Are you saying things to yourself that you would never even think about saying to someone else? Even if it's not in the times when something goes wrong. Even if it's something like your size, or saying that you're fat all the time, or thinking that you're fat and being fat you think is a negative thing, or saying that you don't like a feature about yourself or something else about yourself. What kind of language, what kind of conversation are you having with yourself? Try to be very conscious and aware of language. And you know, it might be a reflex for me today. It certainly was a reflex response at first, but after doing some work, I have learned to catch myself in those moments. And even if I don't catch myself, I am fortunate that I am surrounded by people who will stop me at least if I say these things out loud, which sometimes we do. You make a mistake and you say something like, oh, I'm so stupid. Sometimes you might be joking, but sometimes there's a part of you that might be thinking, I should have known better. I'm so stupid. If you are in the space where you're saying those things aloud, you need people around you who say, don't say things like that. In fact, when I have friends who say stuff like that, I always say, be gentle, which is what this episode is called. In those moments, when you have those moments, say to yourself, once you stop, be gentle, be gentle. That's what you have to remember with yourself, especially. Be gentle with language. The other area is thoughts. Usually what you're thinking relates to your language, or what you say relates to how you're thinking. Be careful and conscious of your thoughts. What are you thinking about yourself? What are you thinking that other people are thinking about you? What are you focusing on? You know, they say what you focus on expands. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the quote unquote negative thing or the thing that's going wrong? Or, for example, today, after I stopped myself from saying nasty things to my knee, I actually gave my knee some gratitude. I said, thank you so much for carrying me all these many years, 44 years to be exact. Thank you for surviving all those basketball injuries. And it's okay to need a break. Today, you need a break. I still actually did run, but it was much slower, and it was a gentle run. Be gentle. Find a way to be gentle. So I changed my thoughts and the way I communicated, literally to my knee, by choosing to be gentle. So what are the thoughts that you're having? Is there a way that within the moment where you're having whatever kind of encounter you're having that you perceive to be a failure or an upset, a disappointment, is there a way where you can adjust your thoughts and decide to be grateful in that moment? Is there a way that you can even be grateful perhaps for that challenge? You can see that challenge as an opportunity depending on what it is. Find a way to be grateful. If it's something catastrophic, because things do happen in life, can you be grateful about the moments before that got you to that moment, and thinking about how you're going to get past it? There's always a way to find gratitude. It's so powerful. I know we hear it a lot now. A lot of us probably tune out when we hear it. But honestly, think about, is there a moment where I can think grateful thoughts to get myself recentered and to remember to be gentle? And the last thing is feelings. How are you feeling about that thing? Your thoughts influence your feelings. Usually when we say something made us mad or something made us happy, it's really what you think about that thing has made you upset or has made you happy. So in the case of my knee, the feelings, I was thinking negative thoughts at first. I decided to shift, and then I began to feel differently about that pain. And I remembered and actually said to myself, this knee has a lot of reason to actually be hurting today. Childhood injuries, as I said, from playing basketball for many, many years. I had a great time playing basketball when I was younger, but I did have some injuries and some falls because I was a little rough player. So I had some falls and some collisions and all that stuff. And the knees, are a little rough right now. So There are reasons for this need to feel like that. Also, I'm running on a different kind of surface. I used to run outside, which actually they say is harder on your legs, but I haven't been running regularly on a treadmill in so long. I used to do it here and there, travel, whatever you get on a treadmill. But running on a treadmill for me is a little bit different. I guess my body can tell the difference, I should say. So my knee might be getting used to that. Maybe that's why it's different. I don't know. But I gave it that space to say, you know what? Maybe that's why you're that way. And I decided not to feel angry about it. I decided to have some empathy for my knee. Also, another thing, since I've been down here in lovely Georgia, I have gained weight. Maybe it's just a few pounds, but my body can feel the difference, especially when I'm running and pounding on it over and over again, because I refuse to stop running. But when I'm running, pounding on it over and over again, my knee is probably like, okay, we're about 5 pounds heavier. Let's slow it down a little bit. Who knows? I'm going to have to find out probably and go to the doctor to find out what might be the problem. But in that moment, I said, you know what? You're right. There's probably a lot of reasons for you to feel like that today, and it's okay to take a break. So we're going to slow it down a little bit, do some of the other things a little bit longer in our workout, and not run so hard today. Be gentle. So I hope that analogy worked for you guys. I wanted to share it with you all and remind you to be gentle when you're talking to yourself, thinking about yourself, having feelings about yourself. Be gentle. There's enough out there going on in the world, especially today, that is rough on all of us. So we have to be gentle with ourselves, even in the moments when things don't go as planned, even in the moments when things fall short, even in the moments where we perceive that we may have failed. Be gentle in your language, your thoughts, and your feelings, because you deserve that. You deserve a little bit of softness. I always say that. Need a little soft place to land. That's what I always think about relationships. The world is hard enough. The relationship should be the soft place to land. You can also be that for yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Love up on yourself, which is what I'm doing with this ice under my knee right now. Try to show it some love. Hopefully in a few days, by next week or so, we'll be back at it again. All right, so I hope you're out there taking care of yourself. I truly appreciate you being here. You know that for other episodes, you can go to supportissexypodcast.com and get in touch with me on social media at Elayne Fluker and at supportissexy. Tell me how you're being gentle with yourself, either how you have been or how you're going to be moving forward. Catch me on Twitter at Elayne Fluker, at supportissexy. Get in touch. You know, I love to hear from you. I'm pretty good with the responses too, within a day or so at least. I just really love to hear from you all. And thank you, I haven't said this in a while, for reaching out on Twitter, on Instagram, sending me messages to Elayne at elaynefluker.com. I appreciate it. I love it. I just love hearing from you and hearing about all the sexy things that you all are creating. So thank you for that. All right. So for now, you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.